The Nigerian creative industry has witnessed remarkable growth, emerging as a pivotal sector, driving economic diversification, job creation, and cultural diplomacy. This vibrant industry has placed Nigeria on the global map, showcasing its rich cultural heritage and creative talents. Nigeria's creative industries are among the most dynamic and influential in Africa, with Nollywood and Afrobeats achieving global acclaim and transforming the country into a cultural and creative powerhouse. The impact of this growth is evident in the sector's contribution to employment, with 4.2 million Nigerians currently employed in the creative sector. The future of Nigeria's creative industry looks even brighter, with an estimated 2.7 million additional jobs expected to be created by 2025. This growth will provide opportunities for youth in various fields, including filmmaking, animation, music, fashion design, ICT, and more. As the industry continues to evolve, it is essential to invest in infrastructure, education, and intellectual property protection to solidify Nigeria's position as a global leader in creativity. With continued support and investment, Nigeria's creative industry will not only drive economic development, but also promote cultural exchange, preserve heritage, and foster innovation. As a result, the sector will play a vital role in shaping Nigeria's future, providing opportunities for creatives to thrive and showcasing the country's rich cultural diversity to the world. Well, joining us in the studio is media strategist, talent manager, Olufemi Oguntamu. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you join us.
Thank you.
Talk to us rather about this industry that a lot of people have been talking about. Is thriving, is growing. There are prospects. You have been there for quite a while now.
Yeah.
How did we even get to this point?
Thank you. So I would say that before now, it's always been that your parents want you to become like a lawyer, banker, and all of that, right? And now we see a switch in that. We now see parents genuinely, wanting their kids to go to study theater art, skit making, content creation, music, and all of that. And I think that's because the industry is actually a booming industry, right? So looking at the data, you can tell that Africans in creative industry, right, they are making a lot of money, they're making waves and all of that. So I think that it has come, the success of this industry is actually in the audience, right? So a lot of people now, we've got like a lot of fans and a lot of there's this acceptance, right, for the creative industry. And also, social media has also played a very pivotal role because, again, you can, unlike before where you have to go on, maybe you have to go to shows and you have to go to the cinema to watch movies. With the click on your phone, you can actually watch any content, right? So I think that content creation has also helped the creative industry. And even people in the movie industry, in music and all of that, they use social media, to drive this conversation. And that is also something that has helped the industry grow.
Interesting. So as long as they are now finding an avenue to get their contents out there for people to consume, it also gives room for stealing of intellectual property, where we talk about copyright and all of that. So how do you think, while they are making genuine money using these social media platforms and streaming platforms, how do you think they have tried as much to mitigate against copyright and intellectual property protection?
I would say that now people now tend to, like, especially on YouTube, they will now watermark their content because, again, there are ways you definitely announce to people that please do not copyright, don't put on WhatsApp, Telegram, and all of that. But again, you see people just dubbing content, right? Some people even go to cinemas and record the entire movie and put on platforms for people to watch. So I would say that in as much as the government is also trying to put some regulations in place, I also think that content creators or even people in the creative industry need to be smarter. So I was watching a YouTube content last week, and then I saw boldly it was watermarked. So I think that you also need to get to a point where you get faster than these guys.
Interesting. Now let's talk about talent management. Recently we've seen a case between a former talent and a former manager there's a rift, talking about monies and all of that, perhaps sharing formula. Sometimes you even see the talent come out to say that, oh, I did not read my contract well,
Right.
I just signed, and then I suddenly realized that that's why I'm leaving this, my manager and all of that to start up my own team. Talk to us about managing rift and this matter of not reading contracts right.
So I think that for every talent, right, there is, you sign a contract before you get into any business deal with your management. Now, the first question is, do you have a legal representative? Most upcoming talents, right, they just want to blow. They do not read contracts. I've met talents that would just say that, oh, they gave me the contract and I don't even need to sign it. As long as what they've promised me is what they're going to do, achieve, they get on the paper and they just sign. But again, who are you going to become in the next 2-3 years? You do not know. So I've seen a lot of issues between talent and management. In 1 year, 2 years, they say that, oh, what you promised me is not what you're delivering, or I didn't know, I didn't read that part. Now, that is not the management's fault. There are different contracts. There could be 70-30, there could be 50-50, there could be whatever percentage, right? But now, the question is, how much are we investing in you as a talent? Are we going to be investing like financials? So if we're going to be investing financials, then it means that we also need to get it back because everybody's running business, right? So you are bringing talent, we are bringing structure.
Is that what determines the sharing formula?
That's what determines the sharing formula,
Right.
right? So you are bringing talent, we are bringing structure. Now the question is, much more than getting deals for you and also maybe replying your mails, picking your calls, correspondence, and all of that, we are looking for opportunities for you. And at times, we also invest in you. And if we're going to invest in you, we need to get the money back. So as an artist, for example, if I'm going to be signing a musical artist now, I'm definitely going to check the books to see, oh, what kind of songs are you singing? Yeah. I need to also change the, most likely understand the artist, understand the talent, the kind of songs he's singing, and how it's going to appeal to the audience. Now, if I need to change that about the talent, then we need to speak to producers, we need to speak to writers, we need to have like a boot camp and all of that. Now, that is on the song part. Now, on the promotion, which is the heavy, we need to spend like a lot of money, right? So we need to do a lot of investment in that. There's billboards, there are social media influencers, there are promotions and all of that. So by the time we look at all of these things, right, and some of these talents who also want to maybe travel for tour, travel for shows and all of that. So it depends on the conversation, right? And it depends on where the talent is at the time and how much we're willing to invest. So if we're going to be investing in that talent, then definitely we're running business. So we need to also be sure that we're going to get our money back. So I feel like the problem is talents they don't even read contracts, to be honest. Some do, but some will just say, well, I believe in you.
But do you force them to read?
No, you force them to read, but again, you definitely will not know if they are reading or not. And then at times you ask them to get their own, you can share with your legal representative, and they come back to say, oh, good to go, right? So what I think that talents need to start getting to a point where they read line by line, and then they understand. And some of these contracts are like 2 years, 3 years binding, so you need to wait. So if you want to leave, you have to wait for that 2-3 years, you know,
Absolutely.
To leave, yeah.
It's quite a whole nexus. But if you're on 23rd of October 2024, the Federal Executive Council of Nigeria approved the Creative Economic Development Fund, as the CEDF, and the implementation of the Intellectual Property Monetization Pilot, known as IPM Pilot. So I want to know how this has helped in terms of, you know, monetization and talent management and content creation.
Yeah, so I would say that monetization is a big thing now for content creators because much more than you being viral on social media, platforms like YouTube, Meta also help you to monetize your content. So you put out your content there, no matter whether it's 2 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, you get views and you get paid for it in dollars, right? So I would say that monetization has helped the industry grow faster. You see a lot of people who don't even, you most likely might not even know them, but they're cashing out real time on Facebook, right? And then some of these guys just, and again, what people need to understand is that you just see this content online, you do not even understand the work that goes behind the scene. So a content creator just records and shoots a content and put up on social media platform. But then there are a lot of things to be considered. They have production managers, they shoot like they're shooting a movie production, right? They have production managers, they have costume managers, and all of these people.
Because
they pay cast. The quality is like watching a movie, right? So a lot of the money that they put into the production, and one of the reasons why a lot of them are pumping money there is also because of the monetization. Because again, they are assured that you're going to get money back, and also by the time you get popular and people get to know you, brands also, there's brands deals, there's endorsements, collaborations and all of that.
So quickly, for those who want to perhaps position themselves as a brand or to be managed as a talent, what should they do? quickly.
I think that first of all, you need to understand what you stand for. You need to have a niche. You need to be different from every other content creator or every other content creator. Basically, you need to have your USP. What makes you different from the other party? One of the talents that we managed with Brother Shaggy, when he started like the Agbero. You know, people get to see him as the street urchin, right? That was a character that nobody was playing at the time. So he created that character, and then people got to love the character. Now, aside having a niche, you also need to understand that people need to start taking you serious as a brand, much more as a viral skit maker or content creator. Now, as a brand, what you need to do is to understand that you cannot just churn out any content. You need to be very sensitive, right? And you need to also, the collaborations you involve yourself with, the kind of brands deals that you get. Some brands reach out to you because they see the numbers, they see the engagement, and they don't want to pay you. But you need to look at the long run. Oh, this kind of brand, how exactly is it going to affect me and rub off on my brand, right? So there's some brands that before we get the deals, we have to actually go back to check how long have they been in the business, and then, you know, to be sure that these brands are not the ones, because when you're telling people that, oh guys, go and do this, go and pay for this, and then something happens to that brand, people come for you because you are the face of the brand.
And so they trust you.
And they trust you. That's why they engage you. That's why whatever you say, I mean, that's why you have fans. So I feel like for your brand to grow, you definitely need to understand where you're going to. But again, you need to ensure that you have the right team with you. A lot of people might not be able to afford to get a manager or management, right?
Does it cost a lot?
I wouldn't say it costs a lot, but I would say that, I mean, you have to be willing to share, right? So, and some of these guys might not, they're jumping for management now because, again, some of them they're not making much now. So they believe that when it comes to you, or in the next few months,
there's a structure to
there's a structure.
business.
But again, when they start to make the money, that is when the reality dawns and say, oh, if I didn't sign this management deal, maybe I would have been getting all this money myself.
Very quickly, because of our time, you know, we have those who are film board, we have different associations, the Yoruba actors, the English, Nollywood generally. But the skit makers and the content creation, you know, guys, when it comes to social media, do they have collaboration among themselves? One, and do they have ethical consideration? Because there are some that what they do is objectify women in their skits and all of that. So are they coming together, and the regulations, how has it been?
I would say that I think the government over time has been, you know, giving some regulatory rules and all of that. But in the skits industry or content creation, I would say that it's actually very difficult to keep what people are going to put out. Because again, we can be here and somebody's just going to record something and put out. And content creation is not just skit making. That's what people do not understand. You can be cooking and then you're a content creator. You can be dancing and you're creating content. So how then do I tell you, or how then do I keep the content that you put out, right? So I think that platforms like Meta and YouTube and all of that have put in some of these regulations to ensure that not just any post goes out. But again, there are collaborations around content creators, skit makers, and all of that. They come together, and I think that it has helped the industry so far, right? And you can also see that collaborations also get into movies, because most of the movies that we see in cinemas now, they engage these skit makers and these content creators because they have numbers, right? And big screen is the next big thing for them. So I would say to you that I don't think there's a way we can actually regulate, because again, these guys.
All right. I know there's a lot to say, but time is not our friend. Again, we must thank you, Olufemi Oguntamu, media strategist, talent manager, for your time on the program. Thank you so much.